Well, that's going to be a different video because I'm recording with the phone. I don't know what I'm looking at, if you can even see my face, but this is going to be a longer video, and this is going to be in reference to that comment that I received from a viewer who started questioning my legal process experience and therefore credibility. So I went ahead and I write all of my cases, and I will be sharing with you as soon as I flip that phone. Okay, but again, yeah, he has rightfully asked me questions about my credibility and why do I say what I claim, because there's a lot of fraud people, and I know that, and I understand what he's coming from, but at this point, I will be establishing my pro se experience, let's put it this way, my pro se resume. Okay, so let's go back and flip it on here. Yeah, it took me a little while to come with this, and I'm gonna zoom that a little bit, but this is what you see. These are my legal cases that I handled all by myself. And the first one was in 2013. It was a civil construction, and that's the only case where I was defendant, and I won that case, and I won it at the appeal as well. Okay, then I had Virginia Department of Health, and this is a state agency. It was going to the DMAS office before hearing officer. It's a medical, and I won that one at appeal because my child was denied Medicaid medical state DD waiver, and so I lost the case with the department, but then I won that at appeal, and as a result my child got DD state waiver, medical waiver. It's not an easy thing to do either. So the third one is with public schools. I had 2 lawsuits there, well, due processes they called, and the first one I won, and there was a settlement here, and we got what we wanted. And the fourth case, again with the public school, is where I dismissed this case myself because, and actually during the hearing, because I found out that the public school was in collusion with private school and corruption again. So I was fighting again to put my child back into private school, but as soon as I found out that the private school is corrupted, I dismissed my case actually during active and ongoing hearing. And that's what the judge said. He's like, I've never heard that before. When you plead for something and you dismiss the case, it's like, well, because there is no reason. I found out about corruption while after the first day of hearing on that one. Okay, so case number 5 and number 6, this is Medicaid against state agency, where I was plaintiff on behalf of my parents. I did lose and I did win. What did I win? I won a long-term care for my father, and what I lost, well, I lost Medicaid for my parents, but then a year and a half later my mother is receiving it again because I did everything that they could not do much about that. Now the second one is that's number 7. In MCO, that's a management care organization. That was a civil medical litigation. We got into settlement in 2022. I cannot talk about this case because I have to sign a contract for non-disclosure. Same thing with the public school, by the way. I can only mention some, but I cannot go into details. Case number 8 is basically my father's got a speeding ticket at the border of Virginia state, and I went before the judge, and he actually thought I was an attorney, and I said, no, I'm not an attorney, I'm gonna speak on his behalf. And I defended this case, and yeah, we were defendants on that one, and we didn't get a record for a traffic violation, nor we had to pay any fees. So I won that case as well. Case number 9, child family law civil. this is where I won 100% physical and I lost 100% legal. I only won 50% legal. Again, that was due to corruption of a guardian ad litem who didn't even check conditions where my child lived at the time and to compare how the child lived with whatever. I'm not just going to say much about that, okay? Because everything is good with my ex-boyfriend, and I want to keep it that way. Again, number 10, let's see, manufacture fraud. Yeah, that's the one that is currently ongoing, and it's currently with Virginia, I'm sorry, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. It's filed properly. It's pending right now. Yesterday was a due date, and then for me, and then the opposing counsel should respond, and then I will. So that's case number 10. Case number 11 is against Department of Social Services corruption, and again, you can never win those because they all cover each other. You know, cannot get anywhere with this one. But if we have a fair trial, or the honest court, it will tell me, then I'm gonna win. But if the court is corrupted at the state of Virginia Court of Appeals, if they're corrupted there, then I'm not gonna win, because I know my cases, okay? Next one is, that's the one that I'm sharing right now and how it's going, and it's always fascinating to see the actual progress. That's against Centera, and it's against the defamation, and right now it's just at the level of circuit court, but with my experience going to every appeal there is, I can go as high as Court of Appeals again. That would be Virginia Court of Appeals for that one. And then I forgot to mention, as you can see, this is out of order, the number 13. This one is for my own traffic violation in Norfolk. That was when I was in college. There was no sign there. People were turning and they pulled me on the side. So I went before the judge, and I took some pictures, and I show how the signal works. And I said, you need to put some signs before you start billing people for violation of some kind of turns, right? So all of my cases, and the first one started in 2013. And like I said, there were some losses, but mostly actually victories, okay? And this is what I did all by myself. Now, on the other side, I have a few other cases here to show you that I had attorneys, and these are with attorneys where I actually was the leading party, because you have to provide your attorney with legitimate exhibits. You have to give them something, because they cannot just go and win without anything. You have to give them enough information so they will take your case, look into that, and take it where it needs to be. So the first two, I've got a favorable settlement over the divorces. I think the second one I actually did myself. The first one was with an attorney, but that's why I don't remember. That's why I put possibly with attorneys. I don't think the second one was with attorney though. Third one is when I injured my wrist. There was a workers' compensation case, and I was interviewed by the agency first, and they tried to mislead me, but I kept stating the same thing consistently. And when I took it to the attorney, he said, when you were staying consistently, because they tried to ask you questions and mislead, but you continue to say the same thing over and over again. This is how you won this case without even knowing it. And for that reason, you made my work easy. All I had to do is just the legal paperwork. And we won that case. Okay, it was a settlement on workers' comp. Then I had, this is one of my early cases, because I'm currently American legal citizen. At the time of my first divorce, I was not in a phase where I could get the green card, because there was not enough time. So I had to go before INS officer and claim that my divorce was in good faith. And I remember in Cincinnati, Ohio, we went to before that officer with an attorney, and I had my luggage, I had my suitcase filled with documents. So when we just rolled in, my attorney let me in, and he says, let's say, Your Honor, this woman is prepared. She's got her lawsuit. It's all in there. What do you want to see? He didn't even want to see. He only looked for a couple of pictures with my husband cheating. And he said, yeah, you're going to get your green card. And then eventually I filed for citizenship. But all the documents for that INS case here, I prepared myself, because those attorneys are the most expensive ones you can find, because your citizenship is on the map, on a table. That's why those are the most expensive attorneys, and that's why I did most of the work to save myself time and money. Now, next was my disability, and sorry, distraction. Next was my disability case, and that attorney won the case. And yes, he was very good. He's very strong. His name is let me think. Sorry, I had to stop. His name is Mr. Gillette, and he's a local attorney. He is the best if you need to get a disability. With social, with SSI, and I only was providing him documents that he would ask me for. So you do assist attorneys when you have one, because you want to save money. And yeah, when you do disability, you have to have an attorney, because if you don't, your case is going to be dismissed as default if they don't see that attorney name next to your claim. And last one case is against a service facilitator. Again, we won that case with attorney, and I basically came in for a consult. I provided all of my documents. I lay out defenses and strategies for him. He agreed. He said, I think I may help you with what you provided, and we got into the case, and there was another settlement. So I guess it took much longer than 3 minutes this time, but I think this probably it required to show you my credibility, that when I say I know, I do know. At this point, I had to go to a further extent to show you what exactly I did, because that person with the comment, he was asking me all these questions. So I hope that's a satisfactory to you. But again, as I responded back to you, if I'm not legitimate, that's your right. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to look for my videos. You don't have to, whatever. You've got your own choices, and you go ahead and pick another person you like to hear, because I know where you're coming from, because the way I speak, because of my accent, and that's why I get discredited often enough, because I speak with an accent and sometimes don't say the right words, because that's a third language, man. Try yourself. How many languages do you speak, right? But when it comes to focus and writing and critical thinking, analysis, all of these things, that's why the York County here, they don't want me around with that house situation. They don't. They want me to go out, their site disappear, because we started with the schools, now we're with the Department of Social Services, and they don't want people like this. So that's why at this point, I don't know if I win anything on those two cases or the Santera case. For that reason, I'll just hopefully buy a house and I stay, regardless of what they want me to do. But they're not going to help me, and that's the reason why, because I never speak up, and I always defend myself, and I always defend my child, and I always defend my family. So I hope that explains everything, and I hope I also establish my virtual resume in legal process litigations. Talk to you soon.